If you are just starting out your career in data science, there are actually a lot of things going on in your mind. Just like, for example, you would like to really memorize a lot of concepts, if not really all of these concepts, in just a very short time. And most especially, you really would like to memorize all of these concepts, all of these theories in just overnight. I know it's very difficult to do that, and I know that it's really very impossible to learn everything overnight. Well, that's just normal for a person who is a beginner in data science. That is actually very understandable. And mind you, you are normal. But as soon as you immerse yourself in the different terms, the different concepts, especially when you're asked to do a certain project, then that is the time when a lot of problems would really come in. It's the time when a lot of pressure, strong pressure, really comes in. And then again, that is just normal. What is abnormal is the fact that you just think you can do all of these things and you feel that you don't have any challenge doing a certain project, doing a certain task, and then you feel and you think you are perfect, then I would tell you, you are not normal. I could still remember the time when I was starting out my career in data science. I actually read a lot of books. I read a lot of mathematical concepts, mathematical theories, and a lot of data science jargons like classifications, we have regression, we have decision trees, we have support vector machine, support vector classification, support vector regression, and a lot more. So these concepts, these theories, these numbers are actually juggled up in my mind. If only these terms could speak, and if only they could move, I believe they would tell me that the space in my brain is not enough for them. Learning all of these concepts and theories really gave me some confidence, but that degree of confidence was broken when I was starting, when I was told to make my own project. And that is where when the pressure was felt, it was real. My problem was that how I would connect all of these dots together to form a new idea, to form a new concept. And it's not just about forming one concept, but it has something to do with forming one concept out of different concepts with the end in view of using a certain result for business. It's actually a lot of pressure. It's because when I would commit something wrong, then a negative effect would be causing a very negative impact to the business. And I didn't want that to happen. And no businessman, business owner, even executive would want to experience that in the business. And so with that being said, I have learned that not all of these concepts would be applied in one business case, in one data science project. You only have to choose those algorithms which are applicable for a certain business case, for a certain data science project. And with all of those experiences I've learned, with all of those challenges and struggles doing a certain project, I knew that, and I realized that I was not perfect and even substantial doing a certain data science project. One of the most fatal problems that hampers our implementation or doing of a certain data science project is information overload. And this actually happens when you're a beginner and you don't exactly know what to do with your data science project. You don't exactly know how to do the first step. And the first step is always the most difficult thing to do in any data science project. For all those information you've gained, for all those theories, for all those concepts that you have digested, sometimes at the end of the day, you can realize that you are choked. You are choked by this information. And because you are choked by this information, you may not be able to identify properly which ones to apply in a certain case. And this is what we call information overload. So when we have enough information in our brain, the tendency is that we could not think properly. And because we could not think properly, we could not identify the practical application of each one of those concepts that we've learned. And sometimes the most depressing thing is that when we meet something along the way of our study, and when this particular concept is very foreign to us, then sometimes we would be depressed. And sometimes we would think that we've never done enough for us to be substantial, to be ready to do a certain data science project. But I want to tell you, don't be depressed. Do not be discouraged. You can never be the master of all things in data science. And I want to tell you that data science is actually a very broad field. It is composed of a lot of subject matters, which you can never learn in just 1 year. And when something goes wrong with the concepts, when you think that this certain concept is very foreign, that it is harder to understand, and it is harder to connect with those concepts and theories you've learned, just take your time, take a deep breath. After all, no one can monopoly the knowledge. And because no one can monopoly the knowledge, you are normal, you are okay. The more you move yourself, the more you force yourself to do something, the more you become burnt out. And the moment you become burnt out, you would lose that enthusiasm. You would lose that certain desire. Your obsession in data science, your passion for doing a certain data science project would be erased in just a click of a moment. So take a deep breath. It's okay if you don't know that certain concept. It's okay when your first step is very difficult. That's a part of doing it. And I want to tell you something about this one. Creating a data science data is actually not that easy. It's actually difficult to gather, create data, especially when the data is not in your own database and you have to source it from other databases. And with that, there could be a lot of issues that you have to tackle, that you have to overcome for you to be able to have access to these outside databases. So it's okay. Machine learning, deep learning are the hype of data science these times. So these terms have gained fame in the past few years, and this is actually the kind of trend that we are going to experience today and even in the next years to come. So with that, try to ask yourself, are you ready for these trends? Are you ready for machine learning? Are you ready for deep learning and other domain in data science? For a starter like you, for a beginner like you, sometimes it would be difficult to start from the very bottom, and you may think of higher algorithms without first understanding the basic ones. And these more advanced algorithms would discourage you. And I want to tell you, don't be discouraged by these advanced and modern algorithms. Don't be discouraged by the hype. Start from the very basic. If you think something is very advanced, you have to go back to the basic. The most fundamental thing that you have to learn in data science is the data preparation, then data exploratory analysis. These things are very basic, and these things must be learned first. Why would you go to SVM or support vector machine if you still don't understand what linear regression is? So I would like to suggest that you first have to master the basic concepts, the basic applications of data science before you go further. Because with this way, you would be able to learn fast because your foundation is now strong. And because your foundation is strong, it is easier to make an easy data science project. Start from the very basic one. Then when you're done with the basic, you can continue with the higher level of data science project. And when I say higher level, maybe you can use more advanced machine learning algorithms or deep learning algorithms. But for now, if you're starting out, just use the basic ones. And don't forget data processing, exploratory data analysis, because everything really starts from here, from these basic methods. And when you think that everything is getting difficult, I want to tell you this, there is more to life than data science. I do understand that you would like to do everything very fast, that you would like to do all things overnight, that you would like to finish your project overnight, but everything doesn't happen that way. It has to go through a certain process, and we have to respect that process. Because if we are not going to respect a certain process of making something, then the result would not be convincing. The result would not be giving us the proper benefit that we deserve. So there is more to life than data science. When you find a certain algorithm very difficult and you cannot do it in one setting, why not you go out, talk with your friends, you go to coffee shop, talk to people, because at the end of the day, you are still a human being. Don't imprison yourself in a certain room trying to figure out what goes on in the world of data science, that you may forget the real you, that you may forget what's going on in your locality, that you may forget who your friends are. While doing our data science projects, while the problems, the challenges are very difficult, we have to think that we are still human being, that we still deserve to smile with our friends, with our respective families, that we can still go to movie theaters, that we still deserve to watch movies and be updated at least of what's going on in our society, at least in the local setting. So just enjoy so that you will not be burnt out. So if you want to know more about this channel, just click the card on your right screen because I have prepared a lot of lessons for you. We have lessons about mastering machine learning algorithm, the deep learning mathematics, the natural language processing, and we do have lots of data science tips that you can really learn from.